So when you put all those factors together, right, this is what I noticed. What I noticed is that as a trauma expert who was put in positions to identify traumatic events in children, to identify the symptoms, to treat, to develop a plan for treatment, not just of the child, but the family system or the entire system that surrounds the child. I was a specialist in what's called systemic therapy, systemic treatment. So it wasn't just that I sat and did work with a kid. That doesn't work. I got to work with the parents, the school district, the probation, human services. I got to get every single person in that system to stop arguing with each other and start figuring out a way to work together for that kid. And when I did that, and they were able to do that together, lives were changed. Right? What I noticed is that, so I went to prep, and this is what I noticed. Those same symptoms I was seeing in the kids, the families, Denver Human Service caseworkers, probation, all those same things were the exact same things I was seeing with the teachers. Have you ever considered that the reason why when you wake up in the morning you have this sense of foreboding sometimes, that you cry randomly at night when you're having a conversation with your spouse about your work situation or some kid at school, right? Have you ever considered the possibility that you effectively are working in a traumatized environment? Right? Have you ever considered that? I mean, it's not something that's talked about much. It's not something that's discussed. I'm going to go one step further by making it clear that it's not just our schools anymore. It's our communities. At certain points today, I'm going to get on a little soapbox, and I'm about to do it, so I'm preparing y'all, because when I do this, it really gets me fired up. Everybody take this thing out and hold it up. Okay. You know what you just did? You just held the world up in your hand. Children were never meant to know this much about the world in real time. In fact, humans really aren't meant for this. Their brains haven't changed quickly enough yet. This is the single greatest source of violent and sexualized content that has ever existed on the planet. And this is just a metaphor for all the different forms of tech. For those tech people, I'm not slamming technology. I know it's a part of our life. But let's talk real and let's be honest. I don't need to do studies at the big fancy universities so those people can be bought by the different corporations to put out the stats they want. To speak common sense and reality. And common sense and reality tells me that when you repeatedly see a violent or sexualized image, it desensitizes a human being's empathic response to that same imagery. That research was done 50 years ago. Systematic desensitization. And that's what's happening to our world. And that's what's happening to our children. You cannot see the images and the content that children are seeing at these rates and for it not to affect people. It's impossible.